Good morning, Dr. Aziz and my classmates. My name is Chunlian. I am very happy to give my presentation here. My research topic is to improving student schemata in teaching business English reading in China's colleges and universities. Case study. First, let me introduce the problem statement. As we know that economy has a close relation with education. The economic development promotes English teaching and learning. There are two important events that happened in China. The first one is that China implemented the reform and opening up policy in 1978. The second is China entered the World Trade Organization in 2001. We can see from the table, since 2009, the Business English Bachelor program developed dramatically. Business English has specialist vocabulary and business-related words and terminology. When students learn business English reading, they need to know business background and the styles of business-related reading context. Most of the students make some problems, such as lack of the business background and no general knowledge about business and trade. Teachers also meet challenges, such as how to improve the students' business English reading comprehension, how and when to activate and consolidate students' schemata. There are three research objectives in my research. The first one is to explore how to activate students' background knowledge about business English in the pre-reading stage. The second one is to explore how to improve students' reading comprehension on business English in terms of schemata in the while reading stage. And the last one is to explore how to consolidate students' schemata about business English in the post-reading stage. There are also three research questions that match closely with research objectives. They have different expressions with question marks. Next, we will discuss the qualitative research design. I have used in case study research design in my research. There are 6 steps that I should follow. Step 1 is to plan. Actually, I have done this step. Step 2 is to decide. In my research, I will use multiple cases. Step 3 is to prepare. I need to obtain the skills and adequate training before I conduct research. Step 4 is to connect data. Step 5 is to analyze. I will use computer-assisted software to analyze data. The last step is to share. I will write the dissertation and try to publish the articles. Next, we will talk about informants. My population is English teacher who teach business English reading. I will select 8 English teachers from the population, 4 male and 4 female. We have learned through 4 sampling methods in classes. Compared with these 4 methods, I will choose purposive sampling in my research. I will search how many English teachers who are in the similar research field as mine, and then I will contact them to see whether they want to be my informants. The next part is about data connection. There are 6 sources of case study evidence. The first one is documentation. It is the recording keeping documentary information. The second one is archival records. They are in the form of data file and records. And the third one is interviews. They are used to collect useful explanations of key events and insights of participants or perspectives. And the fourth one is direct observations. They are used to observe what is happening in the real world. Participant observation is the last sources. It changed the researcher's role from a passive observer to an active one. The last is physical artifacts. They are a technical device, a tool or instrument, a work of art, or some other physical evidence. In my research, I will use direct observations, interviews, and documentation. Besides what we have discussed just now, we also need to know the four principles of data connection. Principle 1 is what we discussed just now, that is to use multiple sources of evidence. Principle 2 is to create a case study database. We need to organize the data and create a database for the information. Principle 3 is to maintain a chain of evidence. There is an example from in. We can see that the arrows goes both ways. So we can look back the evidentiary process if necessary. The principle 4 is to exercise care when using data from social media sources. In my research, I will mainly use the previous three principles. Okay, next is about the data analysis. There are four general strategies for data analysis. Strategy 1 is relying on theoretical propositions. In this strategy, we have the propositions in our mind. So the four contents will be easier. Strategy 2, working your data from the ground up. In this strategy, you can use grounded theory analysis. Strategy 3 is developing a case description. With the descriptive framework, our data analysis will become easier. Strategy 4, examining plausible rival explanations. This strategy can be combined with the previous three strategies. In my research, I will mainly use strategy 1 and strategy 4. Okay, next. We also need to know some analytic techniques in data analysis. The first one is pattern matching. It matches for processes and outcomes, for rival explanations, and for precision. The second is explanation building. We need to explain some reasons and ways that something happens. Like the example here, he writes it in fonts. Next is time series analysis. They are simple, complex chronological sequences. And the next is logical models, which include individual level, organizational level, and program level. The last one is cross-case synthesis. It is used in multiple case studies. So in my research, I will use I will use logical models and combined with cross-case synthesis. Next is about trustworthiness. There is 4 criteria for trustworthiness in Ng's model. The first one is construct validity. It is to identify correct operational measures. We can use multiple sources of evidence, set up a tree of evidence, and invite the key informants to review the draft to ensure the construct validity. And the second is internal validity. It is to establish a causal relationship. We need to explain why event X relates to lead to event Y. The second is external validity. It shows whether and how to generalize the findings. We can look back our how and why questions and to check whether the findings answer the questions fully. And the last is reliability. Under the same research procedures, the operationals of a study can be repeated with the same results. We can use case study protocol to repeat the research. This is my references, and this is the case study interview protocol. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.